it live as well.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
there we are. You can see
So,
us.
I am here with the wonderful Kate from Strawberry Holidays. My name is Steph Heald. I'm a transformational business coach, and I am championing people bringing love back into the centre of business. And when I think about who epitomizes that, it is Kate, which is why she's the first person that I chose to interview, because she absolutely brings the heart to the centre of her business. So, Kate, do you want to just introduce yourself to everybody and tell them a bit about your business and what you do?
Yep, I'm Kate. I'm the founder and owner of Strawberry Holidays. We're nearly 4 years old, and we exclusively and expertly put together tours and cruises for Italy, Greece, US, Australia, and I'm a Disney superstar agent as well. Yeah, I started the business completely selfishly because I was desperate to get back into travel. And Global Travel Group, who are my sort of head office, if you will, they're my consortium, came to me and said, "We know that you want to work in travel again. Have you thought about owning your own business?" And I went to the meeting, completely fell in love with the concept. I mean, as a marketer, it's a dream because I got to build my own brand, and I'm still continuously building my own brand. So as a marketer, it's been a dream. And we're nearly 4 years old. It's just been a mad roller coaster these last 4 years.
And when I first met you, your passion for travel just came through straight away. What is it that you love about travel so much?
I think it's that it makes your world so much bigger. And I think it's especially the case for kids as well. Like, I wasn't lucky enough to travel far and wide when I was a child, but my husband did. And he's so much more worldly than I am. And I see it in my own children. Well, Abigail, she's traveled extensively we've been to Russia even with her, and America, and done road trips and cruises and all different types of holidays with her. And when COVID hit at the start of this year, the resilience that had been built in her and her understanding of the bigger picture and what was going on in the world was incredible. And I put that down to her experiences, through travel growing up. And I just think, it's a fantastic way to learn. Like, I'm a sponge. Like, the whole 7 months while we've not been able to travel, I've been soaking up trainings here, there, and everywhere because I just love to take on new experiences. And I think that's what travel gives you. It gives you the new, it helps you learn, it makes your world bigger. And I love waking up somewhere new. I don't know, I can't describe it. It's just something in me. It must be in the mother genes. My grandfather moved around a lot when grandmother and grandfather moved around a lot when they were young and married, and they never seemed to stop anywhere for more than a few years, and maybe it's a little bit of that.
You could just tell when you speak about it how much you love it. And we've been chatting a lot about what it means to be a business that has love at the centre of it. And I think particularly as we've gone through the period that we've gone through, and as we move into sort of the end of 2020 and into 2021, the businesses that are going to thrive are the ones that have connection and service right at the very centre of what they do. And I know that's something that's really important to you, to have those strong foundations. So just tell us a bit more about how you set up the business around your values and why that's important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was instilled right from the beginning, myself and my business partner, my mother-in-law, funnily enough, and we both kind of set out and said, we're not about a race to the bottom on price. We're not about selling volume at low value. We're about delivering value. Like, she's traveled and lived across the world. I had travel experience with the kids and with particularly cruises, and a fantastic place to give value, especially for people that have never cruised before. And Disney as well is, it's so overwhelming as a holiday. And for us, it was about, where can we deliver the most value? Where can we be the fairy godmothers and really mentor people and help people choose to travel over the new car or over the designer handbag? How can we encourage people and to be confident to travel? And for us, it was about that. It was about experience over things. And that's kind of always been at the heart of us as a family, and that just sort of emulated into our business quite naturally, to be honest. It just felt just felt right. It felt like the right thing to do. And through COVID, that hasn't changed. What we sell has changed, and how we sell it has changed, because I've learned so much about myself, about, like you say, what businesses are going to survive and how we're going to get through this and how we're going to recover, because travel obviously isn't anywhere near a recovery yet.
Yeah.
So, and you're right, the absolute heart and soul of an independent travel agent is how they will survive, using their uniqueness, because nobody's got the same combination of specialisms that I have and me at the center of it. I'm completely unique. That is my selling point, and trying to, you know, use that as a strength and move forward with that into a sustainable recovery. And it was about sustainable growth for us. And if we were to race to the bottom on price, for example, that's just not sustainable. And I'm sure a lot of travel agents that have done that this year are feeling the pain, whereas we aren't. We are feeling the pain. Of course we are. We can't travel, we can't encourage people to travel, but in the financial sense, we can keep our doors open, we're secure, because we didn't do that race to the bottom, because we've grown sustainably, because we believe in the value that we give. And that is a fantastic position to be in, and I feel very fortunate that that's kind of happened quite naturally, and I didn't feel like I was forced into that corner.
Yeah, definitely. I'd just like to explore that a little bit more, because that is what I help people with, is to really tune into their soul, tune into their hearts, and then build a business from that strong foundation. Because when you've got a really strong internal compass about what's important to you, when you have a situation, no one could have predicted COVID, but what I see from you is that it's really given you the ability to navigate this difficult period by connecting back in with what's really important, rather than being swayed by things that have come up. Would you say that's how it's worked for you?
Absolutely. And I mean, every single one of my specialist destinations was hit hard. I mean, firstly with Italy, Greece has been on the, on the brink the whole time. US and Australia, forget it. Like, they were, first to close. Australia's going to be the last to open for definite. And then Disney, I mean, wow, who would have predicted Disney would have closed? Like, that's mega. They don't even close for hurricanes. Like, when they close for hurricanes, it's national, international news. So yeah. But what felt right to me was exactly that, was not to jump on the bandwagon of Turkey, for example. I mean, there was some fantastic marketing out there. Boris cancels Turkey, but cancels Christmas, but you can still have Turkey. But for me, I said no. I said, I'm sticking to what's important. I've trodden the ground of these holidays, and this is what I want to sell, because that's where I deliver value. And I stuck with that, and I will stick with that. And I've said no to taking any bookings for 2020. It's not sustainable. Any bookings I take, I mean, just look now, Canaries, it's been on sale just under a week, and they're already talking about retracting it, not fully from the list, but they're talking about including testing, and it's not even reopened yet. And I just can't live on that roller coaster. I just wanted to stay true to me, true to myself, and help myself have that balance a little bit. And it's, like I say, it's paying off, because the other thing with having the specialisms is it's really allowed me to focus in my time, where I'm putting my marketing efforts, the training that I'm doing. Whereas if you're trying to sell the world, that's not sustainable. The world is a huge place. I know it feels small right now, but it's a huge place to learn, to learn about. So yeah, it's it's just such a challenging time, isn't it?
I think hearing you talk and from knowing you, you've got such a level of integrity around what you do and what you're passionate about. And I really admire that in you. And it's what I encourage other people to do, is to really hone your craft. And rather than spreading yourself really thin and trying to do all the things, it's about really tuning into what's important to you and then narrowing it right down. So for that small group of people, which is exactly what you do, you're like, I am the expert in this area, and I can really help you with these things. And if you get known for that, and then people know that if they want to go to Disney or the Americas, they come to you because that's what you're known for.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been really beneficial in terms of a PR strategy. So I do appear on the BBC Lancashire every month, and John will always encouraged me to talk about cruise, for example. And then, you know, when Flybe went under, and there was a lot in the news about Disneyland, because it was a huge route from Manchester to Paris. So there was quite a lot of people distraught around Disney. I got Hits Radio, Heart FM. They called me up. They were like, "We know you can talk about this," and it spreads out further than you realise. It's allowed me to start partnerships with a group called Girl About Travel. So it's a group on Facebook at the moment, but they've also got a travel club. They are my ideal client. They, as soon as we connected, they knew that I was the right travel agent to work with them. And so even though, yeah, I've niched right down to Sally in her 50s with children in her life, you know, and I know where she hangs out and how she likes wine and to go to the salon and etc. Even though I've niched that right down, it has really opened up masses of opportunities. If you know where, if you've got that right, you can see more opportunities than you probably could if you were completely overfaced with, I want to sell the world to the world, you know.
And I think it's about doing something you're passionate about as well. So even though it's like travel, it's like, okay, what are the areas I'm really passionate about that I'd love to work with people on, that I really want to help people with? And when you bring that big hobby, that big interest down to a really small passion, you can become, you know, excel at it like you have done. There was something that you mentioned earlier before that I'd really like to come back to, which is around the competition and collaboration. And when you come from a place of love, and I know this can be quite hard for people when they first start taking on this concept, is that there is no competition. And you are your unique selling point, as you mentioned. When you come from this place of real confidence about the fact that you are the best person to help people with these really specific areas, then there is no competition. And in fact, you can then feel confident about collaborating with people, which I know is something you've done recently, isn't it?
It is, yes. So I have collaborated with a travel agent who is in my geographical area. She's in Prestwich, so she's within, you know, sort of 15 miles of where I am. And we are very similar in a lot of ways. However, we definitely focus on different types of holidays. She is very much honeymoons, weddings, Far East, you know, Indian Ocean very much. Whereas, as I said, I'm the Americas, Australia and Disney and cruise, you know, very different ends of the spectrum. But what happened is we're very similar on a vibrational level. We're very similar in, you know, our play in where we are in our lives, and even to the fact that she's got marketing experience as her background, as have I, and between us we've got over 25 years. So she approached me and said, we have to do something. We have to help the recovery in whatever way we can. I think we should do this planner. What do you think? So I said, absolutely, I'm with you 100%. That was the beginning of August. So bearing in mind, we're not even in November yet. We've generated over £8,000 in revenue in an industry that's literally on its knees. And it's all because we've created something to help independent agents. We're not overpricing it. We're being, you know, true to ourselves in that we just want to help as many independent agents as we can. We've done crowdfunding to help with the cost of it so we can print more. And yeah, it's basically a 365 page a day book with awareness days. It's even got airport codes, you know, seasons, when you can see the northern lights, like all these things that are really specific to travel agents. You know, when are the low cost airlines going to put their timetables on sale, etc., all things that will help them on a day-to-day basis to create content, to deliver on the front line as a travel agent. And you know, and that has been phenomenal. We've sold over 100 copies. We're hoping to sell more when we actually get a physical version of it. But absolutely, for us, we just put aside completely that we would be seen as competition, and you know, we never saw each other as rivals anyway, but this has been a real opportunity to show other travel agents that you can collaborate and that you are different, and that, you know, you can work together to help build the industry up, but in our own unique spaces.
It's such an important message, particularly now. And, you know, just having that ability to connect with not only your customer, but with your colleagues, you know, even though they're in the same industry, they are your colleagues, and really helping people to see that we can work together. And it isn't about taking clients off each other. Like, there is enough space for all of us, there is enough abundance for all of us, and having that real gratitude. So that's something that we've talked about before. And you just mentioned then about the planner. And we know that the travel industry has been hit hard. So just tell people about the steps that you've taken on a financial level so that you can provide this planner and support your industry whilst all this is going on.
Well, the first thing we did was set up a bank account. Like we need to set up a bank account. We set ourselves our partnership up as well, because you have to do that to get the bank account. I have to say, Starling Bank were incredible. They turned it around in like 3 days. It was unbelievable. And then we were like, well, we're women, so instantly we went to back her business. We were like, is there a way that we can get approved by NatWest to do the crowdfunding back her business, where they will match 50% of your fundraising if you achieve X amount of supporters and X amount of your fundraising. So then we hit that. But we only came to that after we'd started the selling, because actually you can sell something even though it doesn't exist yet. And what we kind of said was, look, let's just dip our toes in, see what the demand is like. We'll put a few Facebook posts in a couple of massive groups that we know is loaded with travel agents, and we'll see if we get any nibbles. And within 6 or 7 hours of us putting our first post out, we had 80 sign-ups, like pre-sale sign-ups. And we were like, amazing. So then we set up a cart, and we were like, right, now we sent it to the 80 people and said, you can actually purchase it now. It's not going to get delivered till December, but you can purchase it now. We had over 60 sales. Like, it was incredible, the conversion. So that gave us real energy and a real boost. Then we started to put a little bit of money into Facebook advertising just to get that message out a little bit further. And then again, the sign-ups kept coming. We got backing and sponsorship from a couple of key players in the industry, which is actually phenomenal when you think that all marketing spend in travel has just been completely eradicated. So we got 2 key sponsors, and then that just, it started to snowball from there, really. And we're just about to send out a notification to our group, which has over 1,800 independent travel agents. We've been approached by other social media trainers and people within the industry that would like to help promote the book, which is just phenomenal. And there just seems to be, it's not just our collaboration anymore. It feels like it's a wider collaboration now. And from a financial point of view, we feel like on top of the world that we managed to achieve that, like I say, and we can only build on that now. So we've invested now into an Instagram course, so that we can deliver create an audience for next year, because this isn't something that we're just doing for 2021. This is something that we see us doing year after year after year, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, hopefully, and getting more and more travel agents behind it. So
it's such a good example of how you can have the spark of an idea, and when you're doing it from from the place in your heart, from a place of wanting to send good energy out into the world, look what the 2 of you have created from that.
Yeah, and you know what it was, Steph? We set out straight at the beginning. It was like, right, if we're going to get this out and to print at the beginning of November, this is the beginning of August. We knew we had very tight deadlines. We got an excellent designer on board. I've worked with him in the past. I'm really excited for what he's produced. It's so good. And so I knew he could work at speed as well. That was the thing. And then it was quick decisions. Like, we had no time to faff about at all. And that was part of the energy that it got on as well. And I've definitely taken that into Strawberry 110% now. Whereas before I'd like procrastinate, of those follow-up calls. We all do it, don't we? We're like, I'm not going to just leave that follow-up call for another hour. They might not answer. They'll be at work, or they'll be doing the kids or whatever. No, I'm like, you know what? Just act. And that's an incredible feeling, a very empowering feeling that actually, to act decisively and, with momentum is actually what's going to deliver you that growth. And what, and I'm going to end 2020 a lot better off than I thought I was in April, May. I was wondering how we were going to survive the end of the year, and now I'm like, right, I'm all set for 2021. Let's finish the year great and get going for next year. So
fantastic. It is. And I think there's a really common phrase that is, the quicker you prepare to fail, the quicker you will succeed. And I so believe in that. And I think we get so caught up in procrastination. You're completely right. And then when you have that deadline pressure, it just makes you move forward. And it's like, if it doesn't work, then you try something else and you keep going. And I really see that in you.
Yeah. And you know what? It was we were given permission. Like, it was almost like the universe went, here is the hardest hit travel industry you'll ever have to sell to. Go and see, like, we knew that if it failed, it wasn't us, it was, you know, the market or whatever. So it almost felt like we had permission to fail. It just, the universe just absolutely combined and said, now is the time to try it, because if it fails and falls flat on its face, you can still try again next year when travel is recovering and it's back and it's in its flow. But right now it's in, you know, dire straits, and we'll see what happens for it. But what we've been given is this beautiful opportunity, because it didn't fail. It's a wild success, like so successful for its first year, to be so profitable, to be so you know, so much engagement, have so much enthusiasm around it. And we've got a list of 25, 30 sponsors that have said to us, not this year, next year, not this year, next year. You know, we know that our print for next year is covered. We will purely be selling, and that will all be ours. So it's beautiful. And that and I think COVID has done that for everybody, and I hope that people see that, you know, if it fails, it fails. It's not you, it's you know, it could be a number of different things, and you know, just go out there. And I think because of COVID and because of the situation, because so many people are pivoting, like I don't think we've ever seen a time when so many people are going into self-employment, so many people are trying something new, like there are so many other people doing it that it just feels like the norm. So go ahead, try something new, and don't worry about it failing, because everybody's doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Unless you don't learn from it, there is no fail. If you keep going, then you're learning and you're growing. And there isn't a single person out there who, you know, you would view as successful that hasn't had things flop. It's just impossible. You cannot get to those levels of success without having things not work out. It just doesn't work like that.
A failure to us would have been if somebody else did it. So that would have been the failure. If we had not done it this year and next year somebody else had done it, we'd have been devastated. That would have been our failure. And so I think that all came from the momentum. It was like, let's just, you know, let's go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, it would have been easy for you to think now isn't the right time and wait. And then, as you say, the fact that you didn't do that and you pushed ahead is giving you the rewards. And it's brought, you know, look how you brought people together. The other thing I just wanted to touch on was the personal side of the finances. So as you've mentioned, obviously travel's been hard hit. Just talk people through the steps that you've taken to ensure that your values of strawberry holidays stay maintained, but whilst you're still paying the bills as well.
Well, I've had to take a side gig on. Well, I've taken a couple on. I'll be honest. I'm doing a bit of marketing for some people, some social media, and then I'm working as a waitress at Northcote. It's a local hotel, Michelin star restaurant. Brilliant experience. Like, wonderful to see so much abundance. Wonderful to see the luxury end of the market is doing phenomenal, like so good. They're up on last year. How can they be up on last year considering the situation? It's mind-boggling, but it's amazing to see, because that is what I'm clinging on to. Like, I'm like really excited about the fact that the luxury end is doing so well. And yeah, I mean, it's minimum wage. I'm polishing cutlery and polishing plates and delivering food to people, and you know what, it allows me to do what I love, because I'm not worrying about the bills. And I listened to a podcast yesterday actually with Lucy Sheridan and Amanda Perry. I think you know Lucy, don't you?
I love Lucy, yeah, she's amazing.
She's running the Good Gram, which is the Instagram training that we're doing, but she's fantastic. And she was saying the same, like that she ran her coaching business, and she's called The Comparison Coach, and she was running that alongside, you know, being a nail salon receptionist and doing odd jobs for people that wanted packing, doing for e-commerce websites and stuff, to enable her to keep going with what she loved. And she knew that that's where the success was, and that for me was just so wonderful to hear, because that's exactly how I feel about Northcote. Like, it isn't glamorous, and it isn't but it is fun, don't get me wrong. It makes me feel really old because all the other team members are in the early 20s. Oh my gosh. But at the same time, it is 100% allowing me to pay my bills and giving me, it's flexible as well. I'm on no hours, so if I can't work one week, I don't work. And I work around the kids and the business. They're the priorities. And then you know, and that's wonderful. Actually, it has been a really good, like a good thing. I'm seeing
Yeah.
the good thing in it now. At first, I felt my self-worth was pretty low, and I felt like the first time I went back, I hadn't planned on going back after it reopened. I was there through Christmas and New Year 2019, 2020, because the business is still small. And when it closed in March, I didn't envisage me going back. So when I had to go back in August, I cried the whole way there. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've got to do this again. And now I'm like, I've learned about luxury, I've learned about service, I've learned about food and wine, like to another level.
Yeah.
I'm working with some fun people. I'm putting food on the table, like I'm contributing to the household bills, and I'm still keeping Strawberry Holidays' doors open without, like you say, compromising the values, without selling turkey over grease, without, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel actually there's a lot more worth in what I'm doing there now, because it's allowing me to do.
Such an important message, because I think often online, particularly online space, it can be all about the big numbers and, you know, the Instagram followers and all that kind of thing. And actually, in reality, it's about bringing it right back down to what is important to you, like what's your purpose, what's your passion, and how can you build that strong foundation so that you can call in those clients who really connect with you on a deep level, not just about building something that hasn't got, you know, legs, that isn't there for the long haul, which I know is really important to you. And you just touched on it, which we'll finish on. You know, that sense of gratitude comes through in everything that you do. And, you know, having known you for a little while, I think it is that ability to see the light in the dark that's really helped you. So do you just want to share with people a bit around how you do that?
Yeah, I mean, that has been my quote of this whole year, really, that the Dumbledore, I'm a big Harry Potter fan as well as Disney, and you know, happiness can be found in the darkest of places if only one remembers to turn on the light. And we put it in the planner. We had to put it in the planner as one of our month's quotes. And I did a Facebook Live last week about this, about how many people have shone a torch for me to find my way. Mia, definitely one of them, in terms of, you know, beyond the bookings. It's more than a torch, it's the whole flipping lighthouse that she shone for me. And I mean, there's a whole book, isn't there, about being a lighthouse and drawing people to you. But even in the smallest, like even when it's been its darkest, I've managed to find a pinprick of light in whatever has been going on. You know, and I've just clung onto that like a little firefly going towards the pinprick of light. And because it can be found. Like I say, I mean, if not travel, then probably events, the two biggest industries to suffer during COVID, because there's no recovery yet. And I don't care what anyone else says, hospitality is in recovery. Like, yes, some of it's closed at the moment, but it still had a recovery, and it's jolty, but it's happening. Travel and events, there has been none. And I think, you know, to still be able to find those little glimmers, whether it's a person, whether it's my mum turned up on Saturday and put food in my freezer that she'd made, or whether it's, you know, somebody with a huge business idea like Mia, or whether it's somebody just dropping me a text and saying, I've been thinking about you, I hope you're okay. I had somebody message me last week, we've been talking about it, my husband and I, we're going to book with you, like regardless, we're going to book with you because you've just been you know, so resilient during all of this, and thankfully what I've been putting out. And you know, they're just tiny pinpricks, but they make a huge difference. And yeah, and I think it is about finding the gratitude in the little things, and because they're not so little during times like this, are they? Like, I'm desperate for baby, what's it called, mini movers to come back. I need to get Eli into a class or something. But yeah, it's just about finding those little areas of gratitude.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I really think that that's what's helped you and taken you through, is that you have the ability to, even in those dark times, firstly continue to show up. And I know that can be really challenging for people when times are hard, but having that consistency and support for your customers and your clients, so they know that you're there, and just being honest about your situation like you have been. You know, it isn't about being, you know, fake or pretending things. It's about saying, I'm here, yes, things are hard, but I'm still here for you, and these are the things I'm doing, and just leading from the front, which you absolutely epitomize. You know, you've had a smile on your face even on the toughest of days, and that was why I wanted to chat with you. So thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else that you would want to share with somebody who's starting out in a business, or perhaps, you know, finding it difficult at the moment?
Just that it's supposed to be hard. Like, nothing is an overnight success. I'm a big fan of Joe Wicks, and he talks openly that, you know, his success took 5 years, and his first YouTube lives had 25 people attending, you know, and he's just done lives and got, I mean, he's just got his MBE, hasn't he, which is amazing. And that, you know, his journey has been 5 to 10 years. You know, he first saw success in 5 years, and then, you know, he's grown and grown since. But and for me, it's not an easy road. It's not supposed to be easy. Don't let these fools online that say, you know, 5 figures in 12 months, whatever. It's a roller coaster, but there are plenty of people out there that will show you and help you and keep you strapped in.
And it's just about taking one foot in front of the other. And even when you do think somebody's been an overnight success like Joe Wicks, you know, there is a long story behind there. And, you know, there'll be one, few and far between that do have that. But most people, it is about taking consistent steps. And then all of a sudden you look back and you think, like you did, you know, wow, 4 years has gone by. And, you know, that's a testament to you showing up every day and doing the work, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And just think about, you know, every single live you do, every single post you do, it's building a body of work. So make sure your body of work is you know, for your ideal client. And like you say, that, you know, reliable rhythm or consistency, you know, whatever terminology you want to use, it is. I mean, some mornings I didn't want to get out of bed. And it's been, you know, it has been, you know, quite dark, but get out in nature, that was big. That was a big one for me, to get out in nature. That helps a lot. So yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Kate. It's been so lovely. As I say, you absolutely, to me, epitomise a small business with a big heart. So thank you for sharing your journey. And if anybody would like to find out more about Kate, she'll be sharing her links beneath this post. And yes, thanks for being here. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Beth. Bye.
Later.